ministers, representatives from the ASEAN member states, ASEAN Secretariat, ASEAN Dialogue Partners, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to the 10th AMCC, ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity. I'm Charmaine E, and I am so grateful to be with you this afternoon. Well, first held in 2016, AMCC continues to bring together ministers and senior officials from the ASEAN member states and ASEAN Dialogue Partner countries for frank and cross-cutting discussions, all with one purpose: to strengthen cybersecurity cooperation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to begin this afternoon's proceedings, I'd like to invite Mrs. Josephine Teo, Minister for Digital Development and Information and Minister for Cybersecurity and Smart Nation Group, up on stage for her opening remarks. Minister, please.
My ASEAN Ministerial colleagues, Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Kao Kim Horn, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. Good afternoon, and I'm honored as well as privileged to address all of us today at the 10th ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity, AMCC. When ASEAN was founded in 1967, great power contestation was evident in our part of the world, with proxy wars destabilizing lives and livelihoods. ASEAN member states understood the idea that if we do not hang together, we will hang separately. The world has changed in many ways, but we live yet again in uncertain times. Major powers are vying for dominance. Besides conflicts in the physical realm, there are tensions across many dimensions like trade and in the digital domain. Of particular concern is cyberspace. Cybercrime, scams, and other cross-border threats threaten the promise of digital development. By some estimates, cybercrime has become so big, it could be the third largest economy in the world behind only the US and China. Advanced persistent threat attacks have risen in scale, sophistication, and impact. Our critical systems that deliver essential services are prime targets. Between 2021 and 2024, detected APT incidents in Singapore alone have increased by more than fourfold. Collectively, these developments threaten our peace and foundations for cooperation. ASEAN, therefore, remains as vital as ever. ASEAN member states must continue to convene and maintain our unity. We must strive to uphold an open, yet interoperable, secure, yet resilient cyberspace for our member states. Platforms like the AMCC are important in providing us a space for dialogue, cooperation, and consensus building on cyber issues. Over the past 10 years, the AMCC has established itself as a cornerstone of regional cybersecurity cooperation. It has provided a platform to come together, strengthen regional cybersecurity capacity building, and galvanize collective action. They help ASEAN to meet the challenges of an increasingly complex cyber landscape. ASEAN member states have moved decisively from discussion to implementation, delivering several notable outcomes that have been pivotal in improving our region's cyber resilience. In 2018, we became the first regional bloc to subscribe in principle to the 11 non-binding norms of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. This has been a reference for other regional groupings to aspire towards. These norms have served as a guiding framework for ASEAN's cybersecurity efforts, reinforcing the importance of a rules-based order in cyberspace. Building on this foundation, we took steps to translate these norms into action, through the development and endorsement of the ASEAN Norms Implementation Checklist in 2024. This checklist, shaped by contributions from all ASEAN member states, outlines actions that states can take to implement each norm in a voluntary manner in line with national priorities. This continues to be a living document that is periodically updated by ASEAN member states. In 2019, we established the ASEAN Cybersecurity Coordinating Committee to bring together representatives from sectoral bodies overseeing cybersecurity. Through efforts such as the ASEAN Regional Action Plan, which maps cross-sectoral initiatives, the committee helps to align our cybersecurity efforts. In 2024, we also launched the physical facility of the ASEAN Regional Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, housed at the ASEAN Singapore Cybersecurity Center of Excellence in Singapore. The ASEAN CERT facilitates regional cyber threat intelligence sharing and provides a dedicated space for collaboration amongst ASEAN member states. These achievements are testament to the possibilities of regional cybersecurity collaboration and the shared commitment of ASEAN member states to build a secure and resilient cyberspace. As a region, ASEAN holds considerable weight. We are the 5th largest economy in the world. Yet, as the cyber threat landscape evolves, no single entity, not ASEAN, can address these challenges alone. Against the backdrop of geopolitical fractures and retreat from building global consensus, we must reaffirm our commitment to uphold an open and interoperable, stable, and rules-based cyberspace. ASEAN's engagements with our ASEAN Dialogue Partners and at the United Nations have been a key pillar of this effort. They help to advance ASEAN's value proposition as a regional bloc, to maintain ASEAN's centrality and foster consensus in support of ASEAN's interests. Much of our digital world as we know it is shaped not just by governments, but also by the private and people sectors. Thus, ASEAN must partner industry, academia, and other stakeholders. In line with this approach, the ASEAN Singapore Cybersecurity Center of Excellence will continue to collaborate with Microsoft to strengthen regional cyber resilience. This partnership will focus on the use of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence for cybersecurity. Over the next 2 years, we will convene an annual ASCCE Microsoft Roundtable on technology developments and their impact on cybersecurity. This will provide a basis for further regional collaboration. I should add that these partnerships are not just about the technologies. They are about building trust and fostering collaboration across borders and between the public and private sectors. At the same time, let us keep working with one another towards building our collective resilience. Through initiatives such as the ASCCE and the ASEAN-Japan Cybersecurity Capacity Building Center, we have made significant progress in equipping our region with the skills and knowledge to navigate an ever-evolving cyber threat landscape. These centers have trained more than 4,700 participants from more than 100 countries with programs spanning the policy, diplomatic, operational, and technical domains. Through the UN Singapore Cyber Program and the Singapore Cyber Leadership Program, the ASCCE will also partner with industry and academic partners to ensure that the capacity building content remains relevant and cutting edge. However, more still needs to be done, especially given the rise of threats related to AI and online scams. As announced by Singapore's Coordinating Minister for National Security, we will be renewing the UN Singapore Cyber Program for another 3 years. As part of the renewed program, the ASCCE will organize workshops and training for ASEAN member states on emerging cyber threats. We look forward to the continued support and feedback of ASEAN colleagues. Beyond delivering high-quality training, the programs at the ASCCE and the AJCCBC also allow for peer-to-peer exchanges and help build networks between cyber professionals within and outside the ASEAN region, enhancing international and regional cooperation, as well as information sharing, which we all know is critical to our effectiveness. In December 2025, ASCCE will introduce the inaugural Singapore Cyber Leadership Program for the ASEAN member states and Pacific Island Forum member states. This program will cover the operational aspects of cybersecurity, providing training on areas such as critical infrastructure protection and incident response. More importantly, this will facilitate ASEAN's engagement with new partners such as member states of the Pacific Island Forum through cross-regional learning, enabling our regions to exchange knowledge and strengthen our collective cyber resilience. As we look ahead to the future, the AMCC must serve as a beacon of regional cooperation and leadership in cybersecurity. Working together within ASEAN, as well as our partners beyond, we can build a cyberspace that is secure, interoperable, resilient, and inclusive for all. I thank you once again for being with us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment of our program, we are very honored to have Dr. Kao with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we invite Dr. Kao Kim Horn, Secretary General of ASEAN, up on stage for his address. Your Excellency, please.
Your Excellency, Josephine, the Minister for Digital Development and Information and Minister in charge of Smart Nation and Cybersecurity of the Republic of Singapore, Your Excellencies, Ministers from the ASEAN Member States and Dialogue Partners, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all. Let me begin by thanking the government of Singapore, in particular Minister Josephine, for the opportunity to deliver the opening remarks at the ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity, or AMCC. Now in its 10th edition, this conference continues to serve as an important platform for ASEAN member states to share perspectives, coordinate actions, and strengthen cooperation with external partners to advance global cybersecurity efforts. The themes of this year's Singapore International Cyber Week, Shaping the Next Era of Global Cybersecurity, reflects ASEAN's shared ambition to build a resilient and trusted digital future for the region. The digital economy continues to drive growth across ASEAN, reaching $263 billion in gross merchandise value in 2024, a 15% rise from 2023, and is projected to hit $1 trillion by 2030. Research from the Asia Competitiveness Institute of Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy shows that ASEAN leads globally in attracting digital economy investment, securing 71% of venture capital inflows compared to a global average of 60%. Building on this strong momentum, the conclusion of the Digital Economy Framework Agreement DIFA is expected to unlock even greater potential, with estimates that ASEAN's digital economy could double in value to $2 trillion by 2030. ASEAN remains on track to reach substantial conclusion of the DIFA negotiations, which we announced by the ASEAN Economic Community Council on 24 October, just days away. Importantly, key provisions on cybersecurity will reinforce trust and security as the central foundations of ASEAN's digital transformation. At the same time as our economies and societies become more digitally interconnected, exposure to cybersecurity risks grows. The cost of inaction is immense, extending beyond financial losses to threats that undermine the safety and well-being of our citizens. In 2024 alone, businesses in Southeast Asia face an average of 400 ransomware attempts every day. IBM's research indicates that the average cost of a single data breach in 2025 could reach $3.67 million for ASEAN businesses, a 35% increase since 2020. The surge in online scams is equally troubling. A recent global anti-scam alliance study involving over 6,000 respondents across 8 ASEAN member states found that 63% of adults had encountered a scam. In other words, 1 in every 5 suffer financial loss. Ultimately, cybersecurity is about protecting livelihoods, privacy, and public trust, the very foundations of a connected ASEAN community. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the magnitude of these challenges calls for ASEAN to act with unity and urgency to secure our digital future. Cybersecurity is not merely a technical concern. It is the foundation of digital trust, which underpins both economic resilience and regional stability. I wish to highlight 3 priority areas that require our collective and immediate attention. The first priority is to build an ASEAN cybersecurity architecture through policy coordination, enhancing human capacity, and incident response readiness, especially at the regional level. The Global Cybersecurity Index 2024 notes significant progress among ASEAN member states in development regulatory frameworks for personal data protection, privacy, and breach notification, as well as in advancing international cooperation through information sharing and capacity building. In fact, 5 ASEAN member states have achieved Tier 1 status, ranking among the world's 46 leading nations in cybersecurity maturity and advanced capabilities. Yet the same assessment identifies a comprehensive regional strategy as an area for improvement. Given the different levels of national readiness, ASEAN can support each other through policy harmonization and mutual capacity building. I think this platform here is one of the key ways to support ASEAN member states. The full operationalization of the ASEAN Regional Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT, will allow faster, coordinated responses to cross-border incidents and reinforce trust among the ASEAN member states. At the same time, ASEAN must address the cybersecurity talent gap, estimated at 3.4 million professionals across the Asia-Pacific region in 2024, by stepping up efforts to attract and train digital talent. I also welcome the development of the ASEAN Cybersecurity Cooperation Strategy 2026-2030, which will guide our collective efforts to create a coherent regulatory framework for cybersecurity over the next 5 years. This strategy will strengthen ASEAN's collective resilience against evolving threats and advance a trusted and secure digital future for our region. ASEAN's approach to cybersecurity is anchored in trust, inclusivity, and cooperation, principles that have long guided our community building journey. Second, ASEAN must intensify cross-pillar collaboration to confront cybersecurity risks from emerging technologies. Artificial intelligence, cloud computing, automation, and quantum computing are reshaping the digital landscape, bringing new opportunities, but also new vulnerabilities. AI-driven deepfakes and large language models, for example, are being used for scam and financial fraud, costing victims across ASEAN an estimated $23.6 billion in 2023 alone. In response, ASEAN has stepped up cooperation through the ASEAN Working Group on Anti-Online Scams and the SOMTC Working Group on Cybercrime to enhance public awareness, policy coordination, information sharing, and law enforcement collaboration. The Guide on AI Governance and Ethics sets out principles for responsible and secure innovation, while under Malaysia's leadership, ASEAN is working towards establishing the AI Safety Network, or AI Safe, to institutionalize AI safety, ethics, and governance principles across the entire region. As AI systems become embedded in the financial services, health, and critical infrastructure, cyber threats are no longer isolated incidents. They are systemic risks that could disrupt economies and societies alike. Cybersecurity risks from emerging technologies demand a comprehensive whole of ASEAN approach that cut across all sectors. I encourage the ASEAN Cybersecurity Coordinating Committee to strengthen coordination mechanisms to ensure ASEAN can effectively address the growing complexity of cyber threats in the digital era. Finally, ASEAN must sustain and expand collaboration with external partners, guided by the United Nations norms of responsible state behavior in cyberspace. The ASEAN Norms Implementation Checklist provides a practical tool to translate these principles into action, building trust and confidence in cyberspace. ASEAN cyber policy dialogues with partners should move beyond policy discussion to tangible cooperation that fosters trust, enhances technical capacity, and strengthens stability in cyberspace. As we advance the ASEAN Digital Account Framework Agreement, ASEAN is well positioned to play a leadership role in shaping global efforts for an open, secure, and resilient digital ecosystem. Continued partnership through regional capacity building platforms, such as the ASEAN-Japan Cybersecurity Capacity Building Center, and in particular here, the ASEAN-Singapore Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, will also be critical. These institutions equip professionals not only with technical expertise, but also with policy, legal, and risk management capabilities. A regular needs assessment will help ensure future investments are directed toward developing the next generation of ASEAN cybersecurity workforce. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, together these priorities outline an integrated vision for ASEAN cybersecurity cooperation that reflect our collective determination not only to safeguard our region today, but also to shape the digital future we seek. A secure digital ASEAN is not just about protecting what we have built, but ensuring that the promise of the digital age benefits every community and citizen in our region. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I trust that our discussion at this conference will reaffirm these shared commitments and drive concrete action towards a secure, trusted, and resilient digital ASEAN. I thank you, and I wish the meeting a resounding success.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kindly remain on stage, please, for the next segment of our program. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to invite Minister Josephine Teo and the heads of delegation of the ASEAN member states to join us on stage for a photograph, please. I believe some of us are still adjusting. All right, fantastic. Right down the center, big smiles. We've got quite a few cameras here, so we're just going to be here for a couple of moments. Thank you very much. And for those of us that aren't taking photos, a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This is our 10th AMCC. Fabulous. Just give us some time to be hand in hand.